So after yesterday's humiliating loss to Tottenham away from home, against a Tottenham that haven't won at home in 105 days, a humiliating loss that most people with eyes could see coming from miles away with the form that we were in under Ruben Amorim, Gary Neville has come in for a barrage of criticism from fan channels, from Manchester United fan channels that seem to be putting themselves on some sort of pedestal, on some sort of moral high ground. Fan channels that have constantly called players clowns, that have constantly abused players, that have constantly used abusive language, that have constantly put out videos day after day after day after day after day criticising United. Why? All for clicks, right? Oh, but when Gary Neville points out the obvious, something that anyone with eyes could see, when he points out that their tactics in that first half against Tottenham were substandard, when he points out that Tottenham were playing through us at will, oh no, suddenly he's the evil guy. Suddenly he's the one out for clicks. Suddenly he's the one using hyperbole. Suddenly he's the one that's using United to keep him relevant. Oh yes, yes. The man that is a legend for Manchester United, the man that played for Manchester United for many years, the man that has been very prominent in the media over the last decade. Oh yes, he needs United to prop him up, right? Right. Interesting. All for pointing out something that everyone could see. But because it's Ruben Amorim, and Ruben Amorim is currently the flavour of the month, and because these YouTubers know that kissing Ruben Amorim's arse will get them a lot of views. And why will it get them a lot of views? Because it's a pattern whenever Manchester United make a new signing, whenever Manchester United get a new manager, whenever anyone new enters Manchester United, videos praising that player or that manager or that individual will get a huge amount of views. So of course they have to come out and shit on Gary Neville, because if they don't, their grift for the foreseeable future will be over. If they agree with Gary Neville and agree that their tactics were shit, and agree that we have been an absolute disaster since he's came in, and agree with me that he has shown nothing since he's came to United to prove that he should be backed in the summer, and if they agree with me that his track record even before United is nowhere near as impressive as someone like Mourinho, is nowhere near as impressive as Klopp's track record before he came to Liverpool, is nowhere near as impressive as many managers that have come in the past. If they agree with me on that, or if they agree with Gary Neville, their grift will be over. They won't get a lot of views. People will criticise them, people will abuse them. So of course they can't be objective. Of course they can't tell the truth. Of course they can't tell the truth that the players are not a disgrace. Of course they can't tell the truth that the system of the managers has let down the players over the past few years. Of course they can't tell the truth that the players are no longer the same players that were playing under Solskjaer, are no longer the same players that were playing under Van Gaal, are no longer the same players that were playing under David Moyes. But no, all we get are headlines. Oh, these same players are throwing another manager under the bus. Which same players? All of these players are very good. All of these players will be successful if and when they leave Manchester United. Aston Villa fans already love Marcus Rashford. Antony is doing amazingly well in Spain. Onana was loved at Inter Milan. All of them are internationals, pretty much. Garnacho will be a success if and when he leaves Manchester United. And Bruno Fernandes has always done very well on the international stage. But because there's been a narrative set online that all of the players are evil, and every single manager is suddenly our saviour and the next Sir Alex Ferguson, these fan channels will not hesitate to criticise the players, because they know it'll go along with the narrative. They won't be pushing back. And if they go along with the narrative, they'll of course get a lot of views. And they know if they criticise the manager, they'll be pushing against the narrative that every manager is the new Fergie, the new Messiah, the new one to lead us to a glorious future. So if they push back against that, they know they'll get a lot of criticism and their views will go down. So when Gary Neville points out the obvious, that their tactics are failing, oh no, we have to push back against Gary Neville. We have to make it out like he's an evil person. We have to make it out like he's out for clicks and he's out for fame and he's out for attention, when the aim of most fan channels is exactly that. Truly bizarre. And just to end, this was just a little rant. I'll actually come out with a more detailed video in a couple of days, detailing why Amorim does not deserve the backing that he has received from the fans and the media at the moment, and detailing why it will be a very, very big mistake if we buy him 4 or 5 players in the summer specifically for his system. And just to conclude, when people point out that if we just give the manager time and if we back him properly, just like we did with Fergie in his first 3 years, we will have another period of glory. No. You, sir, are shitting on the legacy of the greatest manager to ever live, Sir Alex Ferguson.